What's wrong with my show? Wait, I gotta get comfortable. Oh, that's more like it. What?
Please, come out of the shadow.
You are a queen, it's all in your bloodstream, so you know you're royalty. Yeah, you got a hold of me, won't you take control of me? I'll do anything for a black queen to notice me. Sing like I'm Jodeci, even write you poetry. You are living poetry, baby, won't you roll with me so you can be my black African queen. Baby, you the standard, baby, you the answer. Won't you be my black
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Living with JC in a Place to Be. Yeah. I'm currently chilling with my pops at his house. I just pulled up not too long ago. Sitting here, we just catching up, telling a couple of jokes, and a little kiki, ha ha, and that song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Let's see if he pops back there. I'm trying to convince him that we should go Facebook Live real quick and do a quick little mini verses. I don't know if he's really down for it. I don't think he's ready to take an L. I mean, I know he's a music lover, and I really, give credit to him for my love of music. But I don't think he's ready for this L because, the old school, it's like they passed the baton to the new school. And so, I would definitely take the W. And he'll take the L. Ain't that right, Dad? I got y'all hooked up to my little mini, what's this called? Mini, you dig. The mini you dig. That my granny had bought me so I don't have to carry my big ones around with me. When I just want to do a small little vlog. I'm trying to roll out this content for y'all. I promise that I'm going to be consistent. I do have a game plan in mind. I actually got some fun stuff that I have planned for you all. So I hope that you all are excited for this journey. And yeah. So, y'all, my dad just gave me a Pittsburgh Crawfords jersey, so I had to come on here and show y'all. Repping is what they it's this quote that came out. It's nothing new, but it's a quote that says, "You hustle for your last name." So I got to rep and rock my last name. If it's not on my back, it's definitely gonna be on my front, and that's on what? Mary Had a Little Lamb. The thing with you and I love us still through all the tests of time. If you're planning to leave me behind, let me put one more thing on your mind. What you need to do that? I'm just a telephone call away. Sing for me. Message in a bottle, baby, baby. Send for me.
Going down Lakeshore Drive, you know what I'm saying? When you hit the bump, you don't feel nothing. This is it's like you're in a wave, you know what I'm saying?
When you hear this song.
Man, when you hear this joint, you just...
I agree. This is why I picked that song.
I mean, I get it, you know what I'm saying? But this joint here, it's definitely a floating joint, you know what I'm saying? It's Lakeshore Drive, summertime, it's warm outside, you got the windows down, you know what I'm saying? You hitting that curve, you hit that little curve, you know what I'm saying? And you do like this with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you remember, you know the curve I'm talking about, right? You don't make that.
So we was having a debate about this particular song and
Special type of food.
special type of food. Yes, special kind of food.
Basic black.
What's that group?
Basic black.
Okay, Basic Black. And my dad picked that special kind of food. I picked this song. Both classics.
Both black. That's that old soul you got.
Yeah, you know, I'm an old school lover. So yeah, that's just a
They
little.
both jams.
Yeah.
The different feelings that each song emotes. This song is a float song. The other song is more of a kind of like it's a song that evokes just a lot of
That
feelings.
pause this. I'm gonna get flagged. I'm gonna get flagged. Okay, go ahead.
That other joint, that Basic Black special type of food, you know what I'm saying? It evokes a different type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's not that joint right there is it's probably I don't want to call it a breakup song per se, you know what I'm saying? But it's
This song or
the special
Basic
type
Black?
of food, special type
Well,
of
I
food.
feel like with special kind of fool, okay, with special kind of fool, he basically saying like he stay around, like he love that person so much that he's staying around.
But I feel like that at that point you at this critical part in your relationship,
Okay.
where it's almost like you holding on. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. I'm a special type of fool. You know what I'm saying? Just don't leave. Like anything you do, I'm fine with. It's almost like you in a situation, in a place where you probably shouldn't be, right? Everybody is a fool for somebody in a
Yeah,
relationship. You know what I'm
everybody,
saying? But
you
like
know.
when you start saying it out loud, it's just a little bit of a difference. But it just evokes a little different feeling. You know what I'm saying? I just love the falsetto in the joint. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that. Plus, you know what I'm saying? That song came out. I remember Special Type of Food came out probably my junior, senior high school. And two songs came out at the same time. Special Type of Food and Pretty Brown Eyes. So Mint Condition, Pretty Brown Eyes, and Special Type of Food, Basic Black both came out around the same time.
Dick, I thought you was like around the same age as the folks in Mint Condition.
Probably so. No. Actually, no. Stokely's like 50 plus years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think with Special Kind of Food, for me, I was telling my dad that it just puts me, because of what they're saying in the song, I just feel like you don't really come across too many men that's just saying like they a fool or being a fool for a woman. So for me, like as much as I vibe with the song, because I've been there, I think it just wasn't realistic me hearing a man sing it. Whereas Sin for me, I hear a man singing it, and I think it's relatable. Like if a man were to sing it, or if a woman were to sing it, like I just believe it. Special Kind of Fool, like I don't believe that a man has been there. I think that's what like.
Probably not these men today. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They got too many options and too much stuff going on in their lives. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole slew of chicks they rolling around. Back in the day, though, you know what I'm saying? When we was growing up and my dad was growing up, the whole nine. I mean, we was feeling our girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got some stories that I can tell when I was a goddamn fool. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe not no more, right? But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That was. I think like back then, you know, let's call it the 80s and 90s, there was just a different type of love. You know what I'm saying? Like there was like this, you know, you ain't going, we going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nowadays it's like, you know, lay the foot. You know, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? No cap. I'm straight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in somebody's DM and I'm gonna be back. You know what I'm saying, on my gangster in a couple days. You know?
And it was just like for like growing up in the 80s and 90s to cheat, it took so much more work. Not to say that men weren't doing that, but like they didn't have social media. They couldn't just pull up these things and just have access to all of.
But on the flip side, I guess the ways that you could actually get away with doing that type of stuff. Back then was that there was no, I'm gonna track your GPS. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like I heard of many stories where, you know what I'm saying, cats is randomly driving down the street and see a car that looked like a car they know at the hotel, you know what I'm saying? Or at the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Or like or at the club. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dude told me he was gonna be at the crib tonight. That's his mama car. I know it's his mama car because you know what I'm saying. The back seat broke. He up in this club. You know what I'm saying? Doing God knows what or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a special type of fool. I'm gonna go in there and see what you're talking about though. You know what I'm saying? So so here's a story. He gonna hate that I tell the story. So there's somebody that you and I are both very close to.
Okay.
Right. And one night, this is special type food stuff.
Okay. He or her? He.
So you
Okay.
see the difference between now and back in the day.
Okay.
So this cat, you know what I'm saying, one of my closest friends in the world, player, you know what I'm saying? We all ran hard, you know what I'm saying? CMB, Cash Money Brothers. So we are literally, me and these two brothers, you know what I'm saying, that you know very well, right? Not my brother.
Okay.
Not my actual brother, but I call them my brothers, right?
They mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know. So
Okay.
we coming from downtown, and we driving south to the crib. It's late. We've been kicking it all night.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this:
what's up?
was y'all out here doing y'all thing?
Yeah, we was kicking it. You know, no, we was just we was just you know it was a night we was out at the club. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We wasn't really wilding out like crazy. We just hit the spot. You know, hit a couple spots, and we was heading back home.
Okay.
And we had decided that, remember the spot I was telling you about earlier this evening that the political party was at?
Yes.
We was going to that spot.
Okay.
So we leaving, we headed from downtown back south to the crib. And we're driving and we look to our left, like a random night, Saturday night at like 1 in the morning, 12 in the night, whatever time it was. And we looked, and the dude that was in the car with me, his woman was in the car with a dude. It was just random. You know what I'm saying? So it was his woman. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So we riding. So I'm like, hey, you know me, I'm observing. Like I just got. So I look and I'm like, that look like you did. You know what I'm saying? And he looked over and he was like, that is my you did. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, what? So they saw us, and she must have hit him with it like, hey, you need to speed up a little bit. So they drove off real fast. So my boy in the car, he having a fit because what? He a special type of food.
He's a special kind of food, and not only that, he's a cancer.
True that.
He's a cancer.
So he wilding out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole nine.
Yeah.
So he said, you know what? You know what I'm saying? 2 bees in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hit the spot, right?
Okay.
So, we go down Bishop Ford.
So y'all followed him?
No, they actually jetted off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But he hit us with the, don't worry about that. Let's just roll out. So we hit Bishop Ford, got off on Dalton Ave, and we hit the spot. Okay. So we pull up. It was cold outside. I remember this. It was cold outside. So we pull up to the spot, like right in the front. We get out the car. They in the line.
Shut up.
I mean, crazy, right?
Wow.
So we go in. He kind of like, I want to say, if I remember correct, he kind of accosted her, and I don't want to say they tussled, but it was a heated conversation, and we ended up getting out of there. So here's the special type food part. Okay. Fast forward. I'm talking the Tin Man. I'm like, look, dude, we players, you know what I'm saying? We CMB. We don't play that nonsense. Get on up. No, Jay, let me tell you, I love it. I'm like, boy, if you don't get your ass up off this floor. So for a long period of time, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of that back and forth between the two of them, because the fact of the matter is, she knew at that time during that special period she had him, right?
She had him.
And when you think about it,
I feel like I vaguely know who this person is.
She been to us. She was been to our crib multiple occasions when we was living together.
Yeah. I feel like I'm vaguely starting to see somebody in my yeah.
Like, I mean, you was a shorty, but
Yeah.
she was at the crib. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, I feel like you were more apt to have those moments because I think then you didn't have as much access or as many opportunities, right? And you know that whole line and quote that says that you are only as faithful as your options, right? So if you have a lot of options and people pulling you in different directions, and depending on your temperament and your self-control and everything else, then you may get pulled away, right?
You're only as faithful as your options.
Yeah, as many options you got. You got a lot of people. What's that? One of my favorite lines in the Erykah Badu song when she said, "It's been so long, I forgot how fine I was." Right. So when folks start telling you you cute, you know what I'm saying, and before you know it, you may tap in, tap in, right? So then you had to like move in different circles for you to be able to kind of realize that those options exist. Meaning, go to the club, you know what I'm saying, be at a party, those type of things. Nowadays, you just got to post the cutest picture and get the most likes on your gram before you know it. You responded to DMs.
Yeah.
You responded to DMs like crazy, like, "Nah, I'm good. What you talking about, fella?" Blah, blah, bleezy. It's a major difference now. So, that being said, I agree today, cats are not typically, special foods for people because they have too many options for them to be a food for anybody other than just being foolish. Right? So.
But it's kind of whack though, because I would say as a woman, like, you want I don't want you to be stupid over me, but you want somebody to be like, you want somebody to love you. How do you feel about that saying where they say that in a marriage, do you think it's more important? I'm just asking your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's more important that a man loves the woman more or the woman loves the man more? Or in a relationship?
I believe that there is, this is a challenging question, because I think that the word that's throwing me off is more, right? I think that in a relationship, especially a marriage, you have to give the same amount that you can, right? So what I mean by that is, if you and I stand up right now and we put our hands together, and the pressure that we apply is our love for each other. I'm naturally stronger than you, so I'm going to push a little bit harder than you. You know what I'm saying? So my pressure may be a little bit more than your pressure because I'm stronger than you are. So what I mean by that is, people can only give so much of themselves because that may be all they have. Like in your love may be considered stronger than mine, but if that's what you can really give me because of what you have, then that's enough. You know what I'm saying? So, some people have things that they've been through in their lives that deflate their ability to give as much as you think they should, right? Because of their environment, their parents, failed relationships, et cetera, et cetera. So they may only be able to give you so much pressure toward what you need, but it may be all that they have. You know what I'm saying? So you may be thinking yourself, I'm doing all this and I'm doing all that, and I'm loving you more, but that's the amount of pressure that you have to give, right? So you can't equate what you're doing with what that person's doing, because that person, if they're sincere, maybe giving all that they have, you have to love that.
So I hear what you're saying. I feel like that ties into the whole love language thing and making sure you feed someone's love language. I'll never forget, I had two different people tell me two separate things. Number one, in order to get over a situation, you got to find another situation, because that's going to help you get over it, which I still don't know if I necessarily agree with. And then the second thing was that you don't marry for love, you marry for stability. I had actually, I had a couple of different women in my life tell me that that's what I should marry for, and I was just like really taken aback because like everybody knows that I'm a hopeless romantic. Know that I absolutely love and adore love, but
But when you think about it, Jay, like,
it's definitely a partnership.
well, it is, but love is stability.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So,
But that's not where they was coming from.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm coming from. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Love is because the fact of the matter is, you may be hopelessly in love with someone at a very early age. Let's call it 21, 20. You could be 30 years old and be hopeless. That's still very, very, very young. And the person that you are in love with may not, from industry or society standards, be deemed as being stable. Right? Because everybody's definition of stable now has this crazy trajectory because of what we see in social media all the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's posting because of what they got or where they've been, et cetera, et cetera. So now stability means that, right? And in all actuality, more often than not, what they claim they're doing, they're not really doing in the first place, right? So when it comes down to it, you know, stability to me is peace of mind,
Okay.
right? Stability to me is an understanding and being able to openly communicate with your partner. It doesn't always equate to money, right? So if there's a connection there from a love standpoint, and it's sincere and it's true, then ultimately, you know, when you're on the same page, then the financial stability and rewards will eventually come. Because you guys are both having conversations about the same thing. You're trying to actually navigate to the same direction. You have the same destination in mind. And you can only get that to that point if you have this sincerity and understanding as it relates to how you love each other. Now, if you start on the reverse, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm going to marry for stability, which means in so many words that I'm marrying for money or I'm marrying for what you have. And then
What you could do for me.
What you do for me. And you're with this person for 5 years, right? And as you can see now, last year, 2020, I think that there was a record amount of situations where people split up, right? And one of the reasons why is because livelihoods were lost. Jobs were missing, money ain't coming in no more. And the fact of the matter is, people saw that now that I'm at home, I'm with this person that I had a stable life with, but I don't really like them. You know,
Yeah.
What's that? One of my favorite lines from Music Soul Child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, anybody. It goes. The liking somebody. You know what I'm saying? The Robert Glasper joint. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, because I've learned in this life, you gotta be with someone you like.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is the deepest sentiment when it comes down to it, because liking somebody is an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Loving somebody is a forever thing. Right? Like, I can love you and not be with you, but I have to like you
In order to be with you.
every day.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna like you every day, but if I know that, you know, one of the things that I've always said, like, I gauge relationships with laughs and lows. Laughs and lows.
Laughs and lows.
So I've always gauged relationships with the ratio of laughs to lows. You know what I'm saying? If you are laughing more than you have lows, then that's a great relationship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you can giggle, have a great time, enjoy each other's company, and, you know, with any relationship, there's going to be moments of low times. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be issues that you guys don't agree upon or have trouble aligning to. But ultimately, if I can laugh with you still, then it's a great relationship. Now, if I'm finding myself always having a moment where there's an issue and I cannot think back to the last time that we've laughed together, then that relationship is on its way out. Or you need to figure out a way to, you know, insert some humor or some fun or some spontaneity or something into the relationship so that you can enjoy yourself again.
I feel like that ties into something Aunt Irma always like preached to me, and it was that whenever I get into a relationship, make sure that that person is my friend first, because sometimes as your spouse, they're going to fail you. But there's just some things that you would not do to your friend. So always make sure that this person that you're with that you want to spend forever with is somebody who's your friend. And that's what, like, I just don't get into relationships with just anybody. Like, I'm genuinely with somebody who, like, if I'm with you because you my homie, like, best friend. I want to sip tea, hear all about it, but, definitely have the love aspect in it as well.
Yeah, it's a very good longevity foundation. And again, back to the and the friendship and the overall camaraderie. You feel as if, again, back to my point earlier about love. Love to me is something once you get a hold of that, and it becomes ingrained in your spirit and connects with somebody else, then there's not much you can do to distinguish that, right? Or extinguish that, I'm sorry. But liking is something that's totally different. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about that, even from a friendship standpoint, you can fall in and out of friendship with some of your friends, but when it comes down to it, if you've never really had an opportunity to sincerely love them, then you can tell about your relationships that you've had, even versus the relationships I've had over the years. Like, if there's no real love there, and there's no real friendship there, then I don't need to see them, I don't need to be around them, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be in their presence, I don't need to be sharing their energy, et cetera, et cetera.
So you mean to tell me that this person that I love, I'm going to love always?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back to something that somebody told me. Do you think in order for me to get over this situation, I'm going to have to, like what the person said, in order to get over somebody, you got to get a new somebody?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, the new somebody could be you.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
talk your stuff.
It doesn't necessarily mean that whole adage, and guys say it all the time. You know what I'm saying? The best way to forget about old P is to get you some new P. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you think about it, new P is a problem too. You know what I'm saying? P is a problem.
Yeah.
Simple as that, you know what I'm saying? So I think ultimately, it's about, just aligning with yourself to have a better understanding and of what it is that you require and what it is that are deal breakers, what it is that you need in order for you to be sustained, for you to be successful, for you to be enlightened, etc. So no, not necessarily. I mean, the fact of the matter is, people sometimes that you have been in relationships with, ultimately, as you begin to evolve into different people, as you should, then sometimes that just changes the dynamic of the relationship, right? And what goes with that, unfortunately, is sometimes ego and mistrust and selfishness, being self-absorbed, right? It's like I want to go this way, and you want to go that way, and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no camaraderie, no understanding. There is no, meeting in the middle, and that's an issue.
I hear a lot of that. Those type of issues come with couples that get married at such a young age. Because who you are, I hear the biggest difference or the biggest jumps happens from who you are in your 20s versus who you are in your 30s. They say it's not so bad going from who you are in your 30s to your 40s, but that 20s to 30s jump is like extremely difficult and trying if you're not with somebody who's willing to be on board with the person you're growing to becoming.
And your psyche is still developing in your 20s. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Because when you think about it, we're still being impacted by new experiences, right? I think that as you get older, the newness of your experiences tend to wear off if you've done it correctly.
Okay.
Meaning, you should have done a lot of things already. You should have been a lot of places already. You should have experienced things already. Now you may be reheating some of those experiences in a different way, but in your, let's call it 16 to 31, 35 years old, if you are an engaging
16 to 35?
yeah, I mean, you should. I mean, think about you.
Okay.
Think about the first time you got on a plane. Think about the first time you went out the country. Think about all the things you did as a young adult. You went to college, you know what I'm saying? You've been on planes, you know, you've been out the country, you've been to different places, you've experienced things, right? So think about that, right? So your psyche is still having these cataclysms of new things that are happening in your head. You know what I'm saying? Books you're reading, songs you're listening to, all the things that, and the thing about experience is that's interesting is that the more you get, the more you want, right? It's like, okay, I took my first trip, I took my first trip out the country in November of 1994. You was just a little baby. You know, shouldn't have been there, but I went, right? So, you know, once I got that bug of being out of the country as on my own, I'm like, there's so many places I want to go now. Right? And not that I've been to every place I want to go to, but I've had a lot of experiences doing that, right? So the fact of the matter is people tend to get to a point where, you know, the newness of those things tend to wear off. And that's why it's such an important thing in a relationship, because you still have to maintain that spark in that relationship, even when you get older. Because again, you've experienced a lot of those things. You know what I'm saying? So how can you keep it floating and keep it fresh and keep it cool and keep it interesting? So that being said, I think, you know, from about 16 years old, because right then and there, you are embarking on what you will probably be. So you leave in high school, you're going to college, and when you go to college, if you get an opportunity like you did to go to college out of town, you're meeting people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Right? Different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different genders, different religions, different experiences, different accents, all these people, you know what I'm saying? And you're learning from them, right? Then you go off from college, you graduate, and then you go into the workforce. You meet all these other new people. So now you're mixing more with adults and other individuals, and now you're making more money. Now you can do things that you've never done, like you purchase a house. You know what I'm saying? Now you were already talking about the other day, what's the next phase? Now I want to get into some real estate. Now I want to do something. So now you're experiencing more things, right? So, you know, to me, that time period of that is very integral if you do it the right way again and you take advantage of it to be your best self.
You Daddy dropping dimes.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is, man. It's life. You gotta. Somebody said something the other day to me, and I always refute this statement. I was on a call or something, and people, one of their most favorite lines that they always say is, "Life is too short."
Oh yeah, I got that from you though. Your rebuttal. Yeah.
What do I say?
You say that life is the longest thing that you'll ever encounter.
Ever do.
Yeah.
You will never, ever do anything longer than living. Never.
Yeah.
So if living is the longest thing you'll ever do, the problem is that people don't take advantage of being able to live their life. Because they're constantly saying to you, life is too short. Because then it's almost as if they're psychologically telling you, at some point, sometimes, I don't have a whole lot of time. I need to get all this stuff done.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But then what you lose is you lose the ability and the opportunity for you to plan properly. Right? Yeah. Because now you're doing this stuff haphazardly, you're jumping into certain things, and it's fine at some point to jump into something feet first and see if it works out. But planning is always going to be very important.
Yeah.
And you got a whole lifetime to do that. But don't get to 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and then you're saying to yourself, man, I always wanted to skydive, but I never did it. I always wanted to scuba dive, but I never did it. I always wanted to ride a bull, but I just don't get to that point and say that.
Yeah. It's crazy you say that because I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about someone else, and they was just saying how they're trying to create, like set up some things for their children. And they're at a much like older age in life. And I just start thinking about myself and like the things that I'm trying to do right now. And I never want to be at that particular person's age just now in a position to do that for my children. So me and my dad have been talking a lot lately about just how 2021 is going to be the year of like get into the bag. And I'm really, really big on the whole creating generational wealth. So, and not only creating generational wealth, but how do you get to that? By having multiple streams of income. So I got all these different ideas that I want to kind of venture off and tap into just to, kind of get to that space.
It's important, and it's important because, once you start doing your research, you realize very quickly that, African Americans, Black people, colored people, depending on the time period that we were in, have always had the unfortunate disadvantage of starting behind, right? And there's so many documents and overall history of that. And it's rare that you get the opportunity to pursue something that's, in so many words, it's kind of bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you think about, our parents, my parents, and their parents, and their parents' parents, things like, one of the things that I always told you is, the first and easiest way for you to build wealth is to purchase a home. The first easiest way, right? Because now you have an asset. And back in the day, the biggest issue that we had in not being able to purchase homes because of various reasons is that we didn't have a leg up on how to build wealth, whereas, colonizers, whatever you want to call them, they were able to purchase homes, and then they were able to use those homes to, start a business, to send their children to school, to, sell it and make a profit, buy a bigger home, to send their kids to better schools in different areas and neighborhoods. So those children ended up going off and doing good things, and then their children and their children, right? And it's just unfortunate that obviously we haven't had those opportunities over the last, let's call it, we've never really had the opportunity. But I think now, this generation has the ability and the wherewithal to do that, right? But again, we have to get past this unfortunate science of wanting to belong to something that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, what everybody else is doing. What matters is your plan and how you're actually going to get there, right? So, and you and I talk all the time about the importance of putting stuff on paper. Like you and I just sat here a couple hours ago, and I talked to you about my next business venture. It's on paper.
Yeah.
So I can't act like I didn't write it down. I can't make it seem or feel as if I never had that thought because it's on paper. So whether it's a vision board, a mood board, or I want to do it board, or ideation board, whatever it is, you use that as an opportunity for you to have a placeholder, not just in your mind, but on paper, that this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Simple as that. And I was telling you the other day about how the examples of storyboards when it comes to movies. So your idea is what the movie or your story will be. This is the idea. I want my story to be this. Right, here's 3 or 4 lines about what Jay's story is going to be.
Dad, don't put my whole government out there. The folks can't know all that now.
What Wade's story is going to be, right? And an idea, what I'm saying, without action is just a dream, right? So, try to now begin to dream with your eyes open, right? So that being said,
I like that, Dad.
What's that, baby?
Dream with your eyes open. I like that.
Yeah. So now
that's the title of this vlog.
So now,
Dream with your eyes open.
With your eyes open. So now, when you're creating a movie, you talk about the screenplay and the actual, what you want each scene to look like. That's your storyboard, right? So each phase of this journey that I'm taking, I want it to look like this. Simple as that, right? And then you work toward writing your screenplay, right, or writing your story for that scene, because your scenes should be totally different, because your scenes are your experiences and the things that you're acquiring and the things that you're accomplishing. But they all make up your story, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying, and let's not talk about it a lot now, but let's say 70 years from now, you know what I'm saying, when you are, thinking back on your life, and people are walking to the room, and they're looking at you, they should all be able to very concisely, consistently, and succinctly tell your story. These are all the things that Wadey has done in her life, and she has been amazing. Oh, by the way, she left all this for everybody else behind her. And that's the idea. Now you need to start writing these different storyboards and these different, a book. I've never read a book in my life, ever, and I've read a lot of books. I've never read a book in my life that didn't have any chapters in it. Right? I've never picked up a book, right? At least in my, my older age, where it's just like a book of substance.
Right. I know what you're talking about. I know what you meant.
I'm not flipping through 400, 300 pages like, all right, because every chapter has a theme.
Right.
Right? And every chapter basically ascends to what the actual book is about. Right? So, you have to start figuring out your chapters. And the fact of the matter is, you are 20 some odd years into your book. You have several chapters. You have a childhood chapter, things you've learned and things that you start to understand. You have a grade school, high school, college chapter. Now there's adult chapter. You have many, 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 many chapters to go. But you can start writing what those chapters would look like right now. Now you have a little bit more control now than you did 10, 15 years ago. Because you were a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were taking you here, we were getting you there. You know what I'm saying? I think I gave you the analogy about teaching you how to drive. Remember I told you about this?
Yeah.
You remember this? So I was saying, as a kid, as parents, our job is to drive you. Right? So wherever you want to go in life, is my example, we'll drive you there. So when we first started driving you there, you were in the back seat, car seat, and we would take you there, right? Got a little bit older, and he was like, all right, Dad, I'm going to get out this car seat. Cool, sat in the back seat, with your seatbelt on. Right? Got a little bit older, and then you were allowed to get in the passenger seat. Right?
Dad, you used to let me sit in the passenger seat before age, though. You know that?
What? I don't
Okay.
know that. Anyway.
I'm telling your business.
You know what I'm saying? The opposite of you watching this, you know what I'm saying? So, as you got older, again, and the example, the analogy I'm giving you is this is us teaching you. So then at a certain period of time, you start learning how to drive, meaning you start learning how to be self-sufficient. But I would sit in the passenger seat, and you would sit in the driver's seat. I wouldn't let you drive by yourself because you just weren't ready yet.
Right.
You weren't ready to take on the world yet as an adult. So what I did, though, was I sat there with you in the car, and every time you made a move that I didn't like, I grabbed the steering wheel. Right?
Yep.
When you going too far to the right, I'm like, Jay, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Let's go back over this way. Jay, you going too far to the left. Hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You're gonna get in trouble. Come back this way. Right? Then eventually, you got your skills to a point where I was comfortable and I trusted you, and I just sat in the passenger seat. I'm on my phone, listening to the radio, I'm whistling, I'm looking out the window, because you had it. Today, you're in the car by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And my hope is that from what you were taught by me and your mom and all the other people that loved you or still love you, when you find yourself veering a little bit, you think back to the times where I grabbed that steering wheel, put you back in place. Now, my hand ain't going to be there, your mom's hand not going to be there, it's going to be your hand. Now, sometimes you're going to go over there anyway, and you're going to tear your car up. You know what I'm saying? Or you may dent it up, or you may run out of gas because you've been sitting there too long in a place where you shouldn't have been, right? And then I get that call like, Dad, all right, let me bring you some gas. Let's get you back on that road, right?
Dad, I'm finna throw this doggone bottle. You said sitting there too long, man.
Sitting there too long.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? When you should be. What is my license plate say?
Progress.
Progress. Progress means moving forward. Simple as that. So people think that, and one of the reasons why I got that place is because I always wanted to progress and advance forward. Mm-hmm. People think that because you're moving, you're making progress. You can be jumping up and down, spinning around in circles, but you ain't going forward, right? You gotta always figure out and think to yourself, I need to be going forward. Now, it's okay for you to pull over, right? Sightsee a little bit, but your objective is one or two things when you pull over. Either you putting somebody in the car or you getting in somebody else's car. Now, if you get somebody in your car so they can drive off with you, then maybe you send yourself, and that goes back to what you asked me a little bit earlier, love or stability. Because that person may not have a car. But I love this person, so we're going to figure this out together.
Okay.
Either way, you can't be over there diddy-dadding too long on the side of the road because you got stuff you need to do. So, dream with your eyes open, baby.
And that's this vlog. That's like, this vlog has probably already been almost an hour long, so.
And it's what time?
I don't even.
1:30 in the morning.
1:30 in the
Leave
morning.
upstairs, go to bed.
Yeah, I'm finna dip.
I'm worried about you.
Dad,
Yeah, I'm right now.
you and my mama be.
Oh, Mary had a little lamb.
I was about to go. I left my lights on and everything in the house. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna text you as soon as I get to the Chris Nye.
I ain't gonna go to sleep. I'll be ready for you back. Which way you take? 294 downtown.
294.
Okay. Be on 25 minutes.
You say that all the time, Dad. It take an hour to get home.
Are you crazy?
Dad, cause you fly.
You drive like Mary.
I was talking about how you drive not too long ago. I don't know who I was talking to, and I was saying I used to be in the car, hearing my invisible breath. Nervous. Now every time I go 90, I sure be thinking about him like,
Hey.
I learned from the
This is
best.
what you do. You put your Waze app on, because your Waze app show you where the cops are. And if ain't no cops there, then you just, you do 95, you do 90 to the crib.
If I do 90 to the crib, I'll be home in 30 minutes.
That's what I do. I be like, when I leave this house to get to your crib, like I'm usually
Flying.
doing well above the speed limit.
Yeah. Well,
And I know how to get to your crib with my eyes closed, but I always put Waze on because Waze will tell you where the po-po sit.
I ain't thinking about doing that.
I
But,
do it all the time.
but yeah, that's the end of this vlog. But all right, y'all. If you made it this far to the vlog, then you already know what time it is. It's the outro. It's the outro. If you made it this far to the vlog, then you know that I appreciate you. And you know that I think you're loyal. And you know that I love you. I'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Bye, guys.